Yeah, join us every day, Monday to Saturday.
It's Constance and Paul.
Oh, Paul and Constance.
No, definitely Constance and Paul.
Paul and Constance.
Definitely Constance.
Paul and Constance. 7 to 9. It's the 11th of March 2021. Welcome to a special edition of Millennium Kwacha, your first and only business breakfast show, coming to you live from our Long Acre studios right here in the capital city, Lusaka. We're also streaming live both on Facebook as well as YouTube. We're promising you the best of breakfast TV. Good morning, Constance.
Good morning, Paul. How are you?
Awesome. Looking lovely as usual.
Thank you very much.
What's the secret?
About yourself. I told you that the last time. It's God.
God.
It's God.
You hear? God is a secret. So if you want to look as good as Constance,
Pray a lot.
pray a lot.
Yep.
Is there fasting as well?
Yeah, praying, fasting, but make God your best friend. Yeah.
Not your hubby.
No. How do you make God your No, make the Holy Spirit your best friend and have conversations with him in the morning. Well, every day, like throughout the day. You just start glowing.
Just like the devotion we had, yes, make God your best friend. It's a fully packed show. We bring you nothing but the best of breakfast TV today. We discuss someone has transitioned from being an accountant to now being a chef. She'll be coming into studios to share her story. Like, how do you move from being an accountant to now baking? Really? Yeah, but that is the direction I think the world is going to these days. We've been featuring various people that left their corporate jobs, entering into entrepreneurship, businesses, which is something that we are encouraging.
Very true, very true. And I mean, at the end of the day, like we were talking about employment yesterday, the more people start businesses, the more the youths that are coming into the labor force will be employed, which is better for our country.
Yeah, I know also after 8 we have a special guest, right?
Yes, we do have a special guest. Yoko will be coming through. A lot of people know her from Cabanana. They know her from... she's now going to be she's now in Makofi from Love Games, if I remember correctly. You know, so that's where a lot of people know her from. But she's got a wide array of things that she does, and so we want to just come and dissect all of that. And she's going to talk to us about how she has managed to do all of that in this manly run world.
Is it manly indeed? we don't know how that is, but yes, that is what we discussed today on the breakfast show. Don't forget, we are also streaming live both on Facebook as well as YouTube. We want to interact with you. Tell us where you're catching the breakfast show from, whichever part of the world. You can drop your comment on Facebook or YouTube. You can also text us or WhatsApp us on 0975-740518. The question we're asking today, we've seen, of course, we're going to see a clip later on the show of the flooding situation in the country. It is becoming worse by the day. What do you think should be a permanent solution to the flooding situation? The other day, we went for a shoot somewhere within the city, and we saw houses covered in water. Like, you're moving from your house, water everywhere, wondering how kids are living very unhealthy. What should be the permanent solution to the flooding situation in our country? Please interact with us. We want to hear from you. Your views are very, very cardinal to us. But for now, we move straight into the news updates.
Alrighty, so in local stories, Kapiri Glass Company shuts down and high price of copper to enable mining firms to increase production. In international news, one person shot dead in South Africa's student protest. And now for the details. Over 100 workers at Eagle Glass Manufacturing Company in Kapiri have been declared redundant after management announced closure of the glass manufacturing factory barely 1 year of operation. The company has closed down and terminated contracts for all its employees, citing dwindled business activity affected by an influx of cheap glass imports on the Zambian market. Eagle Glass Managing Director Ji Zhao has confirmed the development, saying the company was also experiencing a decrease in sales of its glass products due to the impact of the coronavirus and the constant breakdown of its glass production line. Mr. Zhao said the company has already prepared funds to pay gratuities and a month's salary for all the workers who have been declared redundant. Mr. Zhao assured that the company will resume operations when the business activity improves on the local market and when repairs are done on its production line. Minister of Mines and Minerals Development Honorable Richard Musukwa says the high price of copper on the international market will enable mining firms to increase production. Honorable Musukwa says the price of copper on the international market continues to increase, which will give morale to players in the mining sector. He says this is good because once production increases, the country will be able to generate enough revenue. Honorable Musukwa told Smart Eagles that there has been an increase in the production of electric vehicles which rely on copper, and this is why the price has continued to go up. Honorable Musukwa says the move advance the technology becomes, the more copper the industry will require. He says the prospect for the mining sector looks positive following what is prevailing on in the international market. And some medical doctors and dental surgeons held a peaceful protest at Ministry of Health headquarters in Deke House over government's failure to employ and deploy them. Those interviewed say they feel let down by the Zambian government after putting in a lot of hours of study to enable them to graduate. They said the pronouncements by government that it will employ more health workers has not been backed by action, as no one from their group has received any letter of appointment. But Ministry of Health Permanent Secretary for Technical Services, Dr. Kennedy Malama, says the ministry has received Treasury authority to recruit 395 health workers, including doctors, in a statement issued after meeting representatives of the 400 doctors seeking employment in the public service. Dr. Malama urged the doctors to be patient as the matter of recruitment of health workers, including doctors, was a priority to government and will continue receiving attention. He stated that it was highlighted that government was resolving to ensure that the inadequate human resource for health in various health facilities was addressed. Dr. Malama stated that between 2017 to date, government has recruited 24,480 health workers, which included doctors, adding that government will continue building on this. He stated that the meeting was held in a cordial manner and the ministry appreciated the response from the representatives of the doctors. And in international news, one person was killed on Wednesday after South African police fired rubber bullets to disperse a group of student protesters at Wits University in Johannesburg. Students began sporadic protests in early January over the alleged exclusion of some students by a government-sponsored tuition aid scheme. Wits University spokeswoman Shirona Patel said the victim was not their student. Enraged students gathered near the body with some shouting at police officers to leave the area. Students are demanding that Wits University allow all students with outstanding debts to register for the 2021 academic year. They vowed to continue protesting against the financial exclusion of students. The school authorities say that if it continues to accept students who have historical debt, the institution will become financially unstable. The university says it is owed 1 billion rands in outstanding fees accumulated over the past 7 years. And the UK has promised to return to Nigeria £4.2 million, $5.8 million, which was stolen by a former governor. Former Delta State Governor James Ibori was convicted of money laundering in the UK in 2012. Prosecutors say he stole an estimated £117 million from the oil-rich state. This is the first time the money recovered from criminals will be returned to Nigeria since an agreement was signed in 2016, the UK authorities say. That's it for international news.
In the world of sports, hopes for that NAPSA stars would redeem some Zambian pride on March 1 in the 2020-2021 CAF Confederation Cup group stages were dashed last evening after they too lost on the road in North Africa. NAPSA lost 2-0 in Morocco to the defending champions RC Bekeni in their opening Group B match. Both goals came in the first half of the match played in Bekeni through Hamza Akbi, who put them ahead in the 12th minute, and Mosia Lajos sealed 3 points in the 44th minute to hand the Moroccans top spot of Group B. The defeat came just hours after Nkana were beaten 3-0 in Egypt by Pyramids in Cairo. NAPSA are bottom of Group B on 0 points, together with Cotton Sport of Cameroon, who are third after losing 1-0 away in second place Algeria at JSK. NAPSA returned to base where they will host JSK on match day 2 on the 17th of March at National Hero Stadium in the capital city, Lusaka. Now, Nkana have launched the CAF Confederation Cup group stage with a huge loss At Egyptian side, the Pyramids. Kalampawere settled by Pyramids early goals to go down 3-0. In this Group D match played in Cairo on Wednesday evening, the Egyptians took 2-0 lead in the break thanks to goals registered by Islam Issa and Mohamed Wadi in the opening 9 minutes. Wadi put Pyramids in the driving seat just after 2 minutes, with Issa doubling the lead on 9 minutes. Kana showed some flashes of brilliance in the last half despite failing to find the back of the net. Mohamed Farouk put the icing on the cake with a let go in a minute into the second half stoppage time. Meanwhile, Pyramids have shot to the top of Group D with 3 points, while Kana are now bottom. Second place, Raja Casablanca of Morocco edged Tanzania's Namungo 1-0 in the earlier Group D match played in North Africa. In international sports, Barcelona boss Ronald Koeman says Lionel Messi will have no doubts over the great future the club has after they bowed out of the Champions League with a spirited performance at Paris Saint-Germain. Messi, 33, who has won the competition with Barcelona on 4 occasions, outlined his frustrations last summer and was heavily linked with a move to PSG prior to this last 16 tie. However, while the results saw Barca fail to reach the last 8 of the competition for the first time in 14 years, Koeman says the manner of their exit could help to persuade the Argentine to continue his long association with the club. In tennis, Roger Federer beat Britain's Dan Evans on his comeback after 14 months out through injury, but said he had not played pain-free. The Swiss 20-time Grand Slam winner, 39, won 7-6, 10-8. 3-6, 7-5 to reach the Open quarterfinals in Doha. He had not played competitively since January 2020 after 2 knee surgeries. After a tight first set, Evans won 4 successive points in the tiebreak to lead 4-2, but Federer fought back to level the scores before taking the set with magnificent backhand cross-court pass. Evans, who had lost all of his previous career meetings with Federer, capitalized on a series of errors from the Swiss in the 4th game of the second set to break serve and move 3-1 ahead before taking the set 6-3 to force a decider. The deciding set was much closer and went 4th serve until the 12th game, when Federer broke Evans' serve for the first time in the match to seal victory in front of a socially distanced crowd at the Khalifa Tennis Complex. Now moving on with the money markets. This morning, the Zambian Kwacha is trading at 21.92 against the US dollar, 30.42 against the British pound, and 26.06 against the euro, and 1.43 against the South African rand. Now the South African rand extended gains to trade around 15.2 against the greenback, its highest level since the 4th of March, as sentiment continued to be supported by prospects of recovery and slightly better than expected GDP figures. The British pound firmed above 1.39 during the second week of March as investors hope for a quicker economic recovery in the UK due to the continued success of the vaccination rollout program coupled with massive fiscal and monetary stimulus package. The euro traded below 1.19 during the second week of March, hovering around its weakest level since late November, as investors turned to bond yields and the dollar after US Senate package of 1.9 trillion stimulus bill. The euro has also been under pressure as investors continue to monitor the slow pace of COVID-19 vaccination in the EU and its impact in Europe's economic recovery. Finally, we look at the weather. This morning we begin with the capital city. Lusaka will be humid with thunderstorms in some parts of the city. Temperature currently stands at 24 degrees Celsius and expected to climb to 26 in the afternoon and drop to 21 degrees Celsius in the evening. Ndola will be mostly cloudy and humid with a thunderstorm or 2. Temperature currently stands at 25 degrees Celsius but expected to climb to 26 in the afternoon and drop to 19 degrees Celsius in the evening. In the east, Chipata will be mostly cloudy and humid with a couple of thunderstorms, especially later in the day. Temperature currently stands at 27 degrees Celsius but expected to drop to 26 in the afternoon and further drop to 20 in the evening. Finally, our tourist capital, Livingstone, will be mostly sunny. It's a good day in Livingstone today. Temperature currently stands at 31 degrees Celsius, but expected to climb to 33 in the afternoon and further drop to 20 degrees Celsius in the evening. That's it for the news updates. Don't forget you're watching Millennium Kwacha, your first and only business breakfast show, coming to you live from our Long Acre studios right here in the capital city, Lusaka. It's a fully packed, jam-packed show, bringing you nothing but the best of breakfast. The question we're asking to you this morning is, what do you think should be the permanent solutions to the flooding situation in Zambia? The floods never seem to go away. You move in the parts of Lusaka, you see houses covered in water. What do you think we should do to permanently end the situation? What do you think, Connie?
I feel like I want to hear what people have to say before I comment, because I will give away the answer. So, or at least the answer that I sort of researched and so on and so forth. So I don't want to, what's the word?
Preempt.
Yes.
We want to
I'll
hear
say it
from
at the
you.
end.
Drop your comments on Facebook and YouTube. Want to hear from you. You can also call us or SMS us, even send us a WhatsApp message on 0975740518. We'll be back shortly after this.
Hello and welcome to Zoom in Africa, where we'll bring you the continent's biggest stories in current affairs. We'll also bring you the headlines, main news stories, expert analyses, and interviews. Right here on Millennium TV.
Is packaged to perfection, trending topics that we will be discussing to make sure you know exactly what's happening in the world of social media and, of course, our very own country.
Exactly. We don't just limit ourselves to the country, but we also move across the borders with the best in international news, policy making. We also bring experts to bring to you right information right here on The Breakfast Show.
And if you've got questions, we got you covered too. Like we said, we're on Facebook, so comment, leave your questions. We will be able to answer them. And if we can, trust me, we're going to get somebody that can.
Yeah, join us every day, Monday to Saturday.
It's Constance and Paul.
Oh, Paul and Constance.
No, definitely Constance and Paul.
Paul and Constance.
Definitely Constance.
Paul and Constance. 7 to 9.
You are still watching Millennium Kwacha, your favorite and your favorite business breakfast show. I'm your host, Constance, Namwinga, and of course, I'm with my co-host, Paul Shingongo. It's now time for Press Play, the segment where we just look at the stories that are making headlines in our newspapers. Starting off with the Daily Nation, right on the front cover, we have police search for Hatembos. Saudi government export deal still on, says government. Zasco's 300 million debt to Mamba still under arbitration. UPND's high adoption fees shock CSO. And chip imports COVID-19 shuts Kapiri glass firm. In the sports section, we have Nkana Hamad and FIFA boss salutes Kamanga. The Times of Zambia.
The Times of Zambia. Honeymoon over for keyboard warriors. Very nice phrasing there. You are on your own. Muila distances PF from Monga's remarks against the judiciary. Munaile about U-turns. ZCCMIH to seek approval for Mopani shares. And disaster looms on Ndola Kapiri Road. COVID third wave alert. I thought we were making headway here. Lack of tools hindering work from home. Concept ZCTU. Remove import duty on wheat. At the sports page of the Times of Zambia. Munaile about U-turns now accuses FARS of vote buying at the 27th February elections. Kayonde simply unstoppable as Infantino tossed new FARS team. Eagles rugby coach flits into retirement and misfiring keto tips over coffee.
Okay, in the Daily Mail we have PF breathes fire, says any member speaking against judiciary will be in trouble. We also have Kanga goes against all odds. We have keyboard pessimists in tight corner. 4 women sold over 2 million kwacha debt. Parliament adjourns sign die and prophet annoys state. And for the inspiration or not, it says success is the sum of small efforts repeated day in and day out by Robert Collier. In the sports section, familiar story, pyramids come crashing on Nkana. Mayuka says more to come, no more coffee for Bucci boys. Warriors better than Chipolopolo. Federer sets eyes on Olympics and McRoy ready for ultimate do-over. Diving into the stories in the Times of Zambia.
Times of Zambia, honeymoon over for keyboard warriors. The government has declared that the honeymoon for keyboard warriors who use the internet to commit illegal activities is over, as President Edgar Lungu is expected to assent to the cybersecurity and cyber crime bill. Something that I've been looking forward to. There are people that are specialized to type things that they can't tell you in open. If you post something and someone is disagreeing with you, since they're in the comfort of their home, they can put all the grammar, they can write anything they want, they can insult you. Something that if they were to meet you face to face, they can't do it. And the cyber crime bill is something that will come to put an end to, like the way they've put it, keyboard warriors. They're very good. They're warriors when typing, but when you ask them to say it in open, face-to-face, they can't do it. And that's something that is good for the country. I think we've seen a lot of cyberbullying in the country in the past, and it has to come to an end.
Yes, I do agree with you, and I'm really happy about this bill being signed, the president, it remaining with just the president signing, because, like you said, there is a lot of cyber bullying. I don't like social media. I'm not really a big fan of social media. Putting me on social media or me posting on social media, I'm actually very, very bad at it. I hate social media because I don't like what I see on it. I don't like so many negative comments towards so many things that a lot of people don't even understand most of the times. I don't like the responses that come from certain people. Yeah. You know, I was watching a meme just the other day where this guy is saying, he's pretending to be female. And then he's talking about how, I think he said divas or... Yeah, divas or something like that. No, he said celebrities, I think. Facebook celebrities on Facebook. You know, so he's showing how this girl could even be talking about God, you know, and saying, no, we're going to talk about Jesus saving our lives. Then she sees a comment on her page of somebody that says something, and she starts insulting and what, you know. So even just the responses that people give, you find somebody asks a question. I'm not saying it's a good question. Sometimes they really are not good questions, but then the response also that just comes back is just weird, you know. So at the end of the day, I feel really, really happy that they will try to regulate that so that we have more positivity on social media than the negative that has been going around. Because these days you can even just post your child and the opinions that are going to come out about whether she's too dark or too light, she's too thin, or do you feed her, do you not feed her? It's just weird, you know. It's just, guys, calm down. But yeah, so it's a good thing. I'm happy about that.
The Daily Nation.
Okay, so in the Daily Nation, police search for Hatembos. Now, I've been looking at this story because it's been it's literally in every other newspaper, and this is in a case where these are the people that complained against Hakainde Hichilema and him having allegedly grabbed land or bought land with not properly, and then. They were attacked at a certain point. We read about how they were attacked. Now it's like the brother and the sisters that are missing, you know, and there's just so much craziness around this. And I remember first it was, we are in trouble, we are in trouble, we are in trouble, we are in trouble. People are threatening us, people are threatening my family members, and then now these two people are missing. Yeah. What do you think about it, though?
Waiting to see the conclusion of the matter.
You're just waiting.
I wait to see the conclusion of the matter on that. Yeah, I know it has been trending in the papers for some days, but let's see how it goes.
Let's see. I just there's so many things that could be at play that you don't even know on which side to be, because if the brother and sister are missing, right? why didn't the police protect them? Right? That would be one angle. The other angle would be who has gotten these people with such a high profile case, and then they get these people. Is it even, you know, like there are just so many angles that should be looked. It's so, anyway, yeah, maybe you're right. Let's just wait to see the outcome. And I hope the two that are missing will be found and are safe and are well, and absolutely nothing has happened to them.
Moving on, COVID third wave alert. Zambia has put its rapid response teams against the coronavirus on high alert to guard against the importation of the third wave virus, which some countries in East Africa have predicted. The authorities have put teams, particularly in the Saka and northern provinces, on high alert as the result. To improve testing capacity, the country has received reagents to test 81,250 people in more than 6 weeks. Health Minister Jonas Chanda said in a daily COVID-19 statement yesterday that changing epidemiology in other regions was bound to affect the evolution of the pandemic locally, as well as to lead to the rise in the number of cases. I was thinking we are making headways on this. We've been seeing a reduction of the admissions in the hospitals for COVID-19 cases, and I keep wondering, this becomes like a different view. Yesterday I was busy praising that, yes, I think Zambians are doing great. We are reducing the cases of COVID-19. Third wave could come. This year, like I prophesied, I'm not a prophet, I prophesied. This year we are ending coronavirus.
Yes.
We are ending coronavirus. Say louder, amen,
yes.
Constance.
Amen. COVID is leaving. We are done with you.
Yeah.
We are so tired.
I
am tired. My tired is exhausted with COVID. So this year, it's ending and things, well, not going back to normal, but things are going to get better.
I'm a mask officer. We can't even see the beauty of Constance because she's putting on a mask. Like, why?
No, we need it
really affected our lifestyles, changed a number of things. Everything has changed.
Everything.
It's not things. We need to get back to our real normal.
Here's the one thing I love about it. It has made people a whole lot cleaner. It has made people a whole lot cleaner. You know, I don't know if it's my growing up or because I always had a very, what can I call her? A very conscious mother. She always used to refuse me, like, don't greet anyone on the streets because you don't know what they were doing, where they're from, whether they washed their hands and so on and so forth. You know, and I always used to, like, for me, I've worked a lot in town, in the central district business. So I always used to wonder when people go into the bathrooms, in the public bathrooms, and you know for a fact there's no water, and then they come out and they go and sit. So then you're thinking, fam, you're going to come and greet me with which hands? So I like that it makes people look cleaner. There are small places to wash your hands. The sanitizer going around all the time.
And sanitizer was not even very common.
Yes, but sanitizer now it's everywhere. And now you actually have, you know, like when you refuse to greet someone, it's not considered that you're skitting or whatever.
Yeah.
Like it's understood. That I like. I'm sorry.
But we wanted to go, and this year it is going away. So this third wave, if it was in church, I'll say we reject it. So we bind it.
We bind it. We cast it out.
Yeah, moving on.
Okay, so moving on. Chip imports COVID-19 shuts Kapiri glass firm. Chip imports and the economic impacts of COVID-19 have forced Eagles Glass Manufacturing Company in Kapiri to shut down and declare over 100 workers redundant. The company has closed down and terminated contracts for all its employees, citing dwindled business affected by an influx of chip glass imports on the Zambian market. I am sad. This is sad. This is so sad. And now they're talking about how people have started importing cheap glasses, and so their glass is more expensive, and so people are not buying that glass anymore. They're buying the cheap imports. And then, of course, the pandemic and its causes. I feel like this was the only glass manufacturing firm that we had in the country. I seriously feel like more should have been done to protect it and to make sure that it continues, including the, what would you call it, the stopping of that imported glass, you know, because at the end of the day, we really need to work on supporting our own productions, you know, our own. But then if companies that are producing stuff that is Zambian are being forced to shut down because of importation, I feel like that is a no.
Yeah, true. We need to support what is happening locally.
Yeah. So immediately this was seen like this was getting bad, or it was getting to this point. I think it should have, like, something more should have been done to make sure that they don't close, because this is 100 people, you know, declared redundant. That can translate, that can translate to more than 500 other people, because those people have got, you've got five, you know, or 6 or 7 people in their families that they are supporting that, and they probably support, you know, like these extended whatever. So this is so sad. This is really, really so sad. I really felt bad, and I'm hoping that something will be done so that they can get back into business real quick and real fast. As much as we love cheap things, let's love our local stuff a whole lot more, even if you're going to spend more money. True.
Still watching Millennium Kwacha, your first and only business breakfast show. We are coming to you live from our Namwinga studios right here in the capital city, Lusaka. The question we are asking today is, what do you think should be the permanent solutions to the flooding situation in the country? Literally, if you go in the compounds, you see water surrounding the homes of people and you wonder how they're surviving. What do you think? We've been talking about flooding for quite some time. There should be a permanent solution somewhere. We want to hear from you. We're streaming also live both on YouTube as well as Facebook. Drop us your comment. You can also call us on 0975740518. When we get back from the break, we talk to Zangi Chanda Chewe, someone that is an accountant but does something quite different from accountancy, right after this.
It has been an exciting journey on the Roundtable Talk. We have featured a host of high-profile individuals such as cabinet ministers, permanent secretaries, directors, and a host of other high-profile guests. As we proceed with the Roundtable Talk, we would like to announce that it is now going mainstream. Yes, you heard me right. Going forward, the Roundtable Talk will be broadcast on Millennium TV, Channel 95 on the Topstar decoders, on YouTube, and as always on Smart Eagle's Facebook page. Join me every Thursday at 15:30 hours as I bring to you more and more exciting guests for more information, entertainment, and education. I'm Nakiwe Simpongwe, your host.
Millennium TV. Millennium TV. Women Business.
It is packaged to perfection, trending topics that we will be discussing to make sure you know exactly what's happening in the world of social media and, of course, our very own country.
Exactly. We don't just limit ourselves to the country, but we also move across the borders with the best in international news, policy making. We also bring experts to bring to you right information right here on the Breakfast Show.
And if you've got questions, we got you covered too. Like we said, we're on Facebook, so comment, leave your questions. We will be able to answer them. And if we can, trust me, we're going to get somebody that can.
Yeah, join us every day, Monday to Saturday.
It's Constance and Paul.
Oh, Paul and Constance.
No, definitely Constance and Paul.
Paul and Constance.
Definitely Constance.
Paul and Constance. 7 to 9. It's okay. Welcome to Millennium Kwacha. Yes, this is your first and only business breakfast show. Coming to you live from Namwinga Studios right here in Lusaka. So much fun on the breakfast show. Even off the camera, we have so much fun. Right on set, greater fun. So you just have to get glued every day from Monday to Saturday from 7 to 9. Now, the question you're asking for today is the flooding situation in Zambia. What do you think should be the lasting solution? We've seen the way families are affected. DMMU is busy at the moment moving families from one community to another because they've been affected by floods. What do you think should be the solution? Permanent solution to this scourge that is affecting many of us Zambians. Want to hear from you? Streaming live both on Facebook as well as YouTube. Drop us your comment or call us 0975-740518. On this particular segment, I've been joined on set by an accountant, very strange. She finished all the stages of her SCCA, but now is a food blogger. The other week I featured a blogger, but now there's a food blogger. So I think blogging is in different stages. Zangi, welcome to Millennium Kwacha.
Thank you, Paul.
It's good to have you.
Yeah, it's good to be here. Excited.
Great. What do you do?
Okay, so I think you highlighted it. I am a food blogger. I love to put out Zambian content, Zambian food in general, and make it look, cool, because everyone wants to make fashion look cool and everything, but then I like food. I'm a foodie. I really love food.
Did you come with some food?
Well, we'll talk about that.
Okay, great. And personal chef?
Yes.
So like private people engage you?
Yes. So I do small events. I don't have the capacity to do big events. So if people have a date for 2 or a date for 10 people, a birthday, yes, I do that for them.
A date for 2. Next week is my wife's birthday. I'm trying to think how I can engage your services. A date for 2.
Do come over. I'm your girl. I don't do typical food, so.
Awesome. But you've done accounts, right?
Yes.
SCCA completed. I know how successful someone feels when they finish.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Really, thank you.
And now you're doing this. What's the connection? I thought you'd be now maybe in the bank.
Well, to be honest with you, it's 2 reasons. First of all, it's not so easy to get employment. So you have to look for that in between. You can't just sit down and not do anything. Then secondly, it's also passion. I don't think just because you do one thing, say business studies or being a teacher or whatever, you cannot do what your passion is as well, which is a side hobby. I feel like very few people actually invest in hobbies or just nurturing their skills. So that's generally what I opted to do. And make money as well.
Okay, but when you get employed, do you think you still continue doing what you're doing?
Definitely. If I get employed, that is.
Do you plan to getting employed?
Honestly, I'm here and there about it because I feel I can equally make money out of this journey. Okay. Yes.
Okay. When it comes to food blogging, blogging, I know it's posting things on social media, right?
Yes.
Different from like chef. Is that different?
Yes, it's 2 different things. So being a chef doesn't necessarily mean you blog out your food, but being a blogger is kind of you take pictures of food. You don't necessarily serve it or anything or sell it to anyone. You just want to expose what kind of food you eat and the like. So being a chef is maybe a job or a business, but being a blogger isn't necessarily that. It could be, but it isn't necessarily that. Sometimes I just do it for fun. There are people who actually just go to restaurants and blog food. They don't really earn anything for it. Yes.
You get pictures and...
That's it, you post. Yeah.
Then what do you get from there?
Nothing, really. The satisfaction, I guess. The satisfaction for me, it's really, yeah.
Okay. How profitable is the business that you are doing?
It is really profitable.
Okay.
The goodness about food is everyone wants it, everyone eats it. It's a necessity. So everyone has events. everyone needs, not everyone likes to cook. This is a misconception, like everyone likes to cook. So there are some people who just want you to, if they have guests at home, they don't want to do that. They call you, and it's very popular actually nowadays for people are having village banking meetings to call people like us to provide them that service because they cannot manage to cook for maybe 10 people or 8 people. So it is profitable because food is a necessity. Yeah.
But with the advent of COVID, how has that affected your business? Or maybe it has even enhanced your business?
It has, because people are not flocking so much to restaurants. So it's easier for people to call for delivery services like, oh, can you bring, say, a platter of this or a platter of that, and you deliver. So it's not as bad. The strain isn't as bad for us who just deliver stuff and cook from home, yeah.
Awesome. I would want to find out from you what you feel we should do to reduce. Yesterday, one of the things we were discussing with Constance on set is the issue of the unemployment rates in the country, which keep increasing every year because people are always looking for jobs. What do you think really should be the approach, the direction that the youth that are watching should embrace?
Honestly, I think that's a very good question and something that we should all consider. Diversify. It's not a guarantee that what you study today is what you're going to be doing. So, in general, look for something, enhance your skills, just develop something and work on it, perfect it, and start using it to make money. You could be a content creator, you could be a baker, because I bake cakes, I sell them. You could do anything, just don't rely on one source of income or just whatever you've studied, because it's not a guarantee that you get a job, because I'm one of those that doesn't have a job right now, but I have to sustain myself. So diversify, develop your skill, perfect it, and yeah, be an entrepreneur or something.
How has been your journey? When did you start this? When did you even discover the point that actually I can even start cooking, I can provide food to people?
Okay, so generally for blogging, it's been slightly over a year.
Okay.
But as a business, it's been about 7 months since I started doing this. Yes. So it's been quite a journey. I think. Did
someone push you into it? Or?
Yeah, honestly, yes. Because I think I was almost like every typical person who has the skill to do something but just sat on it. So my family and friends and everyone just told me, you know what, you can make money out of this, so just perfect it. So yeah, it wasn't something I started on my own, to be honest. So
how has your family taken it? Because they've invested so much money to take you to school. I can imagine the resources that have gone for you to finish SCCA. And here's someone that is doing cakes like, no, Zangi.
Well, to be honest, they still want me to get into formal employment. That's just the truth. It's typical Zambian parent, yeah? They want me to get into formal employment, and they're like, no, there's so much more security if you get a job. You don't know what will happen. What if you lose your gigs and whatnot, which I understand. So they're not having it.
How have you handled that now?
Just guaranteeing them, like, okay, I know what I'm doing. I'm just reassuring them, this is what I'm doing. This is making this much. Telling them exactly what I'm doing and how much I'm making. And also applying for jobs, just in case. Honestly, I'm doing that so that they feel much better about it. I'm not against formal employment, by the way. It's a good thing. So, yeah, just balancing those two.
Awesome, awesome. Where do you see your business in the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years?
Yes. My business, honestly, I want to be like one of the biggest restaurateurs and someone who's known typically for improving and adding on to the Zambian cuisine, because that's really where I'm at, just promoting Zambian food and making it, extra zhuzhed. So I want people to...
Extra what?
Judged.
Okay.
Yes. So
We're learning new terms here.
Yes. So in the next 5 years, at least, more restaurants, more. Yeah, I don't want to preempt because there's something that I'm working on currently. Yes. So just expect a lot more Zambian and elevated dishes, just like I'm working on a drink that's typically Zambian, but elevating it currently.
Okay, I'll look forward to that. Look forward to that. People talk about entrepreneurship really like it's a easy walk in the park. What are some of the challenges? Because I know there are people that are watching and they'll be like, yes, I started low, but look at Zangi, she's doing this. I'm also stopping applying for jobs and let me do what Zangi is doing. What are some of the challenges that people should anticipate in the journey of entrepreneurship?
Well, it's not as easy as it seems, and I don't think it's for everyone.
Okay.
That's just to be honest. I think if you have something going on for you, don't quit it completely, because with starting out a business just in general, there's a lot that goes into it, starting from capital and time as well. Are you able to give all your devotion and time? Because business needs time. Consistency. Also, the manpower. There sometimes we want certain kind of businesses to go a certain type of way, but are you able to employ people? Are you able to put in that time? And also, realistically speaking, do you have the kind of money to inject into that business? So those are things that people should look at and see, okay, can I manage to do this? And are you just generally also good with handling people? Because that's something that you have to look at as well. So, yeah.
Awesome.
Don't rush. They shouldn't rush into it. They should critically think about those things.
But if they start thinking critically, they'll look at all the challenges, they'll gather all the capital challenges. I don't have the capital, and of course, they'll not even venture into it. Don't you think so?
Well, I don't really think so. I feel like people just have to be honest with themselves. I'm not discouraging per se. I'm just saying you have to look at, we look at pros and cons, obviously. But we all know our individual strengths and weaknesses. So, I mean, if you know a way to handle finding capital, or you know you're good with your time management, and you work well under pressure. And the thing with business is you won't always make the same kind of money every time. If you're going to be able to handle that, then that's okay. But you just have to think critically about it. But yeah, write down a list of your pros and cons, that's all. And see if the pros outweigh the cons, then go for it.
Awesome, awesome. This week we were celebrating International Women's Day. Happy belated, is it belated International Women's Day?
Thank you, where's my present?
It's coming when you give us the food.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Finally, I want to find out from you, away from food blogging and personal chef, you've completed SCCA. How long did it take you to do that?
You really want me to say that on
Yes,
camera?
yes.
It took me 4.5 years.
4.5 years.
Yes.
Wow. What has helped you? Because I know it's not a child's play. What has helped Zangi to finish SCCA?
Well, it's a lot of time and commitment, to be honest. I think, yes, people look at it like, oh, it's so hard, but it's not impossible. I think when I started it, I did go in with that mentality, like, oh, it's difficult, I cannot handle it. But then when I began to put in my time, effort, and commitment, really, it helped me. Consistency is key. I always talk about consistency in everything that I do. If you consistently study, consistently just you have it in your mind that I have to do this, then you get it. You complete in anything, every course. It doesn't matter if it's SCCA or nursing or whatever. If you don't put in your time, your work, consistency, then it will be nothing.
Awesome.
Yeah.
2 last questions before I let you go, Zangi. There's a youth watching tomorrow. We are commemorating Youth Day.
Yes.
There's a youth that is watching. What will be your message, Youth Day message to the youths that are watching?
Well, my Youth Day message to the youths that are watching is don't be lazy.
I love that.
Do not be lazy. The Bible says, "Inyanja ukotiti nyanja,
Yeah.
waolesi asadi." So do not be lazy. The only way we can get ourselves out of this mess or unemployment is if we actually start to do something. We shouldn't wait on our parents. We shouldn't wait on the government. Start to do something.
Yeah.
That's my message. Don't be lazy.
Awesome. Atwao lazy asadi. So if you are lazy, today we're not giving you food. Where's tomorrow on youth? They're not giving you food. Finally, for people that would want to find your business on social media, where can they go? How can they contact you?
All right. So my social media handles are Let's Food and Forever Zangichu. That's on Instagram and on Facebook. And how you can contact me is through my phone number, my business number, which is 0973-458-111. And yeah, I'll be able to attend to you in that way.
Thank you so much for coming through on Millennium Kwacha.
Thank you for having me. It's been fun.
Next time you'll come with the food.
Definitely.
Oh, also.
Definitely, we'll make a plan.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much. Still watching Millennium Kwacha, your first and only business breakfast show. We were discussing food blogging with a food blogger and the personal chef Zangi Chanda Chewe. Which one is the surname?
Chanda.
Chanda. Then Chewe is?
Chewe is actually my first name. Zangi, my middle name, which is a Luvali name.
So you're Chewe?
Yes.
Chewe, Zangi, Chanda.
Yes.
Awesome. When we get back, we still discuss so much more on the breakfast show. We have the news updates with Constance, and later on, we have a special guest that is coming to talk about all things women and how to create spaces as well for other women to flourish in this era. Right after this.
Hello and welcome to Zoom in Africa, where we'll bring you the continent's biggest stories in current affairs. We'll also bring you the headlines, main news stories, expert analyses, and interviews. Right here on Millennium TV.
Millennium TV. TV. Millennium TV. Women Business.
It has been an exciting journey on the Roundtable Talk. We have featured a host of high-profile individuals such as cabinet ministers, permanent secretaries, directors, and a host of other high-profile guests. As we proceed with the Roundtable Talk, we would like to announce that it is now going mainstream. Yes, you heard me right. Going forward, the Roundtable Talk will be broadcast on Millennium TV, Channel 95 on the Topstar decoders, on YouTube, and as always on Smart Eagle's Facebook page. Join me every Thursday at 15:30 hours as I bring to you more and more exciting guests for more information, entertainment, and education. I'm Nakiwe Simpongwe, your host.
is packaged to perfection. Trending topics that we will be discussing to make sure you know exactly what's happening in the world of social media and, of course, our very own country.
Exactly. We don't just limit ourselves to the country, but we also move across the borders with the best in international news, policy making. We also bring experts to bring to you right information right here on The Breakfast Show.
And if you've got questions, we got you covered too. Like we said, we're on Facebook, so comment, leave your questions. We will be able to answer them. And if we can, trust me, we're going to get somebody that can.
Yeah, join us every day, Monday to Saturday.
It's Constance and Paul.
Oh, Paul and Constance.
No, definitely Constance and Paul.
Paul and Constance.
Definitely Constance.
Paul and Constance. 7 to 9.
Millennium TV. Millennium TV. Women business.
Mafingerings tikaleta kuti kule ifike pa 500 gram or 450 gram or even pa 400 flat gram nshia kule mungapeleke pa market.
When we are at school, we learn a lot of things. Let's say, for example, for the diseases which are there in the poultry. So for someone like me who has gone to school, it's easy for me to know if at all there are any diseases in the poultry.
Mafingerings tikaleta kuti kule ifike pa 500 gram or 450 gram or even pa 400 flat gram nshia kule mungapeleke pa market.
When we are at school, we learn a lot of things. Let's say, for example, for the diseases which are there in the poultry. So for someone like me who has gone to school, it's easy for me to know if at all there are any diseases in the poultry.
Yeah, you gotta hustle. You can't be at the same location and with the same behavior. You got, when you want to change the behavior, you at least change the location.
One, you need to be determined. You need to be disciplined and focused.
The business is something that you are able, at the end of the day, it's giving you something, profit. What do I do? Saturday we have a game. I don't have eggs, right? At home. We go there, we win. They'll give me maybe a 50 or 100 kwacha. Then I'll benefit out of that.
Only on Millennium TV. Women business.
Now, we are hearing stories of how people in Kuku compound even have to go through the situation where they are defecating in plastic bags now because of floods, because their toilets are immersed in water. They cannot go to the bathroom, and now they are defecating in plastic bags and then throwing it back in the very same water that is surrounding their homes. Can you imagine such a situation? We need to find a permanent solution to this floods, and that is the question that we are asking you today. What do you think is the permanent solution? What can be done to end the flooding situation in our country? The number that you're calling is 0975 740518. 0975 740518. We are also live on Facebook as I speak, and also on YouTube. Do use those platforms to get interactive with us. It is now time for the news updates. Let's start with the local stories. Now, in headlines, Kapiri Mposhi Glass Company shuts down. High price of copper to enable mining firms to increase production. And in international stories, one person shot dead in South African student protest. Now, over 100 workers at Eagle Glass Manufacturing Company in Kapiri Mposhi have been declared redundant after management announced closure of the glass manufacturing factory barely 1 year of operation. The company has closed down and terminated contracts for all its employees, citing dwindled business activity affected by an influx of cheap glass imports onto the Zambian market. Eagle's Glass Managing Director Ji Zhao has confirmed the development, saying that the company was also experiencing a decrease in sales of its glass products due to the impact of the coronavirus and the constant breakdown of its glass production line. Mr. Zhao said the company has already prepared funds to pay gratuities and a month's salary for all the workers who have been declared redundant. Mr. Zhao assured that the company will resume operations once the business activity improves on the local market and when repairs are done on its production line as well. Minister of Mines and Minerals Development, Honorable Richard Musukwa, says the high price of copper on the international market will enable mining firms to increase production. Honorable Musukwa says the price of copper on the international market continues to increase, which will give morale to the players in the mining sector. He says this is good because one, production increases the country because once production increases in the country, it will be able to generate enough revenue. Honorable Msuka told Smart Eagles that there has been an increase in the production of electric vehicles which rely on copper, and this is why the price has continued to go up. Honorable Msuka says the more advanced the technology becomes, the more copper the industry will require. He says the prospect for the mining sector looks positive following what is prevailing on the international market. In more stories, some medical doctors and dental surgeons held a peaceful protest at the Ministry of Health's headquarters in Daycare House over government's failure to employ and deploy them. Those interviewed say they feel let down by the Zambian government after putting in a lot of hours of study to enable them to graduate. They said the pronouncement by government that it will employ more health workers has not been backed up by action, as no one from their group has received any letter of appointment. But Ministry of Health Permanent Secretary for Technical Services, Dr. Kennedy Malama, says the ministry has received Treasury Authority to recruit 395 health workers, including doctors. In a statement issued after meeting representatives of the 400 doctors seeking employment in the public service, Dr. Malama urged the doctors to be patient, as the matter of recruitment of health workers, including doctors, was a priority to government and will continue receiving attention. He stated that it was highlighted that government has resolved to ensuring that the inadequate human resource for health in various health facilities was addressed. Mr. Malama stated that between 2017 to date, government has recruited 24,480 health workers, which included doctors, adding that government will continue building on this. He stated that the meeting was held in a cordial manner and the ministry appreciated the response from the representatives of the doctors. Moving on to international stories, one person was killed on Wednesday after South African police fired rubber bullets to disperse a group of student protesters at Wits University in Johannesburg. Students began sporadic protests in early January over the alleged exclusion of some students by a government-sponsored tuition aid scheme. Wits University spokeswoman Shirona Patel said the victim was not their student. Enraged students gathered near the body with some shouting at police officers to leave the area. Students are demanding that Wits University allows all students without studying debt to register for the 2021 academic year. They vowed to continue protesting against the financial exclusion of students. But the school's authorities say that if it continues to accept students who have historical debt, the institution will become financially unstable. The university says it is owed 1 billion rands in outstanding fees accumulated over the past 7 years. And still in international stories, the UK has promised to return to Nigeria £4.2 million, which was stolen by a former governor. Former Delta State Governor James Ibori was convicted of money laundering in the UK in 2012. Prosecutors say he stole an estimated £117 million from the oil-rich state. This is the first time that money recovered from criminals will be returned to Nigeria since an agreement was signed in 2016, the UK authorities have said. That's it for international news. We take a quick break. When we return, we look at sports. It is packaged to perfection, trending topics that we will be discussing to make sure you know exactly what's happening in the world of social media and, of course, our very own country.
Exactly. We don't just limit ourselves to the country, but we also move across the borders with the best in international news, policy making. We also bring experts to bring to you right information right here on The Breakfast Show.
And if you've got questions, we got you covered too. Like we said, we're on Facebook, so comment, leave your questions. We will be able to answer them. And if we can, trust me, we're going to get somebody that can.
Yeah, join us every day, Monday to Saturday.
It's Constance and Paul.
Oh, Paul and Constance.
No, definitely Constance and Paul.
Paul and Constance.
Definitely Constance.
Paul and Constance. 7 to 9.
Welcome back. You are still watching Millennium Kwacha. It's time for the news updates. Let's dive into the world of sports. Now, hopes that NAPSA stars would redeem some Zambian pride on match day 1 in the 2020-2021 CAF Confederation Cup group stages were dashed after they lost on the road in North Africa. NAPSA lost 2-0 in Morocco to the defending champions RS Berkane in their opening Group B match. Both goals came in the first half of the match played in Berkane through Hamza Akbi, who put them ahead in the 12th minute, and Moussine Lajar sealed the 3 points in the 44th minute to hand the Moroccans top spot of Group B. The defeat came just hours after Ankara were beaten 3-0 in Egypt by Pyramids in Cairo. NAPSA are bottom of Group B on 0 points, together with Cotton Sport of Cameroon, who are third after losing 1-0 away in second place Algeria at JSK. NAPSA return to base, where they will host JSK on match day 2 on March 17 at National Hero Stadium in Lusaka. Nkana have launched the CAF Confederation Cup group stage with a huge loss at Egyptian side Pyramids. Kalampa was unsettled by Pyramids' early goals to go down 3-0 in this Group D match played in Cairo on Wednesday evening. The Egyptians took a 2-0 lead into the break thanks to goals registered by Islam Issa and Muhammad Wadi in the opening 9 minutes. Wadi put Pyramids in the driving seat just after 2 minutes, with Issa doubling the lead on 9 minutes. Nkana showed some flashes of brilliance in the last half despite failing to find the back of the net. Mohamed Farouk put the icing on the cake with a late goal a minute into the second half stoppage time. Meanwhile, Pyramids have shot to the top of the Group D with 3 points, while Nkana are at the bottom. Second place, Raja Casablanca of Morocco edged Tanzania's Namungo 1-0 in the earlier Group D match played in North Africa. In international sports, Barcelona boss Ronald Koeman says Lionel Messi can have no doubts over the great future the club has after they bowed out of the Champions League with a spirited performance at Paris Saint-Germain. Messi, 33, who has won the competition with Barcelona on 4 occasions, outlined his frustrations at the new camp last summer and was heavily linked with a move to PSG prior to this last 16 tie. However, while the results saw Barca fail to reach the last 8 of the competition for the first time in 14 years, Koeman says the manner of their exit could help to persuade the Argentine to continue his long association with the club. In tennis, Roger Federer beat Britain's Dan Evans on his comeback after 14 months out through injury, but said he had not played pain-free. The Swiss 20-time Grand Slam winner, 39, won 7-6, 10-8, 3-6 and 7-5 to reach the Qatar Open quarterfinals in Doha. He had not played competitively since January 2020 after 2 knee surgeries. After a tight first set, Evans won 4 successive points in the tie-break to lead 4-2, but Federer fought back to level the scores before taking the set with magnificent backhand cross-court pass. Evans, who had lost all 3 of his previous career meetings with Federer, capitalized on a series of areas from the Swiss in the 4th game of the second set to break serve and move 3-1 ahead before taking the set 6-3 to force a decider. The deciding set was much closer and went with serve until the 12th game, when Federer broke Evans' serve for the first time in the match to seal victory in front of a socially distanced crowd at the Khalifa Tennis Complex. And now we look at money markets. In today's money markets, the Zambian Kwacha is trading at 21.92 against the US dollar, 30.42 against the British pound, 26.06 against the euro, 1.43 against the South African rand. The South African rand extended gains to trade around 15.2 against the greenback, its highest level since March 4th, as sentiments continue to be supported by prospects of recovery and slightly better than expected GDP figures. The British pound firmed above $1.39 during the second week of March as investors hope for a quicker economic recovery in the UK due to the continued success of the vaccination rollout program, coupled with massive fiscal and monetary stimulus packages. The euro traded below 1.19 during the second week of March, hovering around its weakest level since late November as investors turned to bond yields and the dollar after the U.S. Senate passage of a $1.9 trillion stimulus bill. The euro has been also under pressure as investors continue to monitor the slow pace of COVID-19 vaccination in the EU and its impact on Europe's economic recovery. That's it for money markets. We move on to the weather update for today. Our capital, Lusaka, will be humid with thunderstorms in some parts of the city. Temperatures currently standing at 24 degrees Celsius, rising slightly to about 26 degrees Celsius in the afternoon, then diving down to about 21 degrees Celsius. So we are on the warmer side for the day today. Ndola will be mostly cloudy and humid with a thunderstorm or 2. Temperatures currently standing at 25 degrees Celsius, slightly rising to 26 degrees Celsius before dropping to 19 degrees Celsius. Chipata will be mostly cloudy and humid with a couple of thunderstorms, especially late in the day. Temperatures currently standing at 27 degrees Celsius, which means right now it's on the hotter side, but it will start dropping, going to 26 and 24 in the afternoon, and then later on to 20 in the evening. And Livingston, mostly sunny, already really hot at 31 degrees Celsius, expected to even go as high as 33 or 34 degrees Celsius in the afternoon, and it will only come down to about 20 degrees Celsius. So Livingston on the warmer side. You want to see the Victoria Falls, this could be a great day. That's it for the weather update and the news update. We'll take a quick break. We have so much lined up for you. Do not go anywhere, and we are waiting for those comments. What do you think can be a permanent solution to the flooding? To get interactive with us, I'll be back just now.
Hello and welcome to Zoom in Africa, where we'll bring you the continent's biggest stories in current affairs. We'll also bring you the headlines, main news stories, expert analyses, and interviews. Right here on Millennium TV.
Millennium TV. TV. Millennium TV. We mean business.
It has been an exciting journey on the Roundtable Talk. We have featured a host of high-profile individuals such as cabinet ministers, permanent secretaries, directors, and a host of other high-profile guests. As we proceed with the Roundtable Talk, we would like to announce that it is now going mainstream. Yes, you heard me right. Going forward, the Roundtable Talk will be broadcast on Millennium TV, channel 95 on the Topstar decoders, on YouTube, and as always on Smart Eagle's Facebook page. Join me every Thursday at 15:30 hours as I bring to you more and more exciting guests for more information, entertainment, and education. I'm Nakiwe Simpungwe, your host.
Still on Millennium Kwacha, my name is Constance. Namwinga. I am your host. Now, I really wanted us to discuss the craziness of the flooding in our country right now. DMMU is overwhelmed trying to move people from one place to another because of the flooding. Now, we all love the rains. The fact that it is raining as crazy as it is raining is absolutely amazing. It means farmers are happy. It means us with the electricity, we are happy because it means we've got more water. There will not be any talk of, no, the Kafue doesn't have water or the Kariba doesn't have water or so on and so forth. So we love the rains. We're happy about the rains, but sadly, the rains are also causing massive flooding. The fact that our drainage systems are really not up to par. The fact that, you know, we, even just ourselves as citizens, we build homes wherever, at whenever, at any point, as long as you get some land, you start building a house. Some even go to the extent of building houses right at the edge of roads, you know, at the edge of rivers and so on and so forth. There's all of that, and now we found ourselves in this place where there is so much flooding. And the question that we're asking for you, or we're asking you today, is what do you think can be done to have a permanent solution to the flooding? What do you think can be done to have a permanent solution to flooding? Now, I want to show you a video clip that we have, just so that you get an idea. In case you haven't seen any crazy flooding, you know, here's a video that will sort of give you an idea of what we're talking about.
So olamtala nazisema jamanje hapo. Tina window. So pochi hapo mnipe. Ngonga imu kutumu nitatisego.
This is another part of Lusaka's Kuku compound, whose residents are not spared from the wrath of heavy rains. With pit latrines submerged due to heavy floods, people here have now resorted to answering the call of nature in plastics, which they later dispose of in the same water while living in flooded homes.
So nambanga turefo kuya kufimbusu fyali vila kubombera fema plastic tuwaposa mumeshi. Kwena nshi tuwalai karashani tuwalaru wala mwebuteko tuwapapata.
It must also be noted that this storm water carries garbage and fecal matter from nearby illegal dumping sites and the submerged toilets onto people's doorsteps. This situation is as a result of the rising water levels in the nearby Blue Water Dam, which has been collecting water from different sources with nowhere to outpour it except for the nearby homes. The residents are now asking government to construct a drainage that will collect the water from this dam to some designated water points.
So muchiribe ko pitisa manzi ukuthi chichose manzi chikwezeka cha belevu. So level ya manzi ya jamene ya moja manzi ndiye amenatiletera problem kunoti yachaba yasefukira pansi yachoka pansi manzi yabwera kuma houses yatu kamene.
Batisegule ko ma drainage ya Blue Water yopereka Blue Water kuti zipema zipereka manzi ukaferi. Because manzi yanamba last year pamene nafaka ma drainage kungenesa Blue Water, so ntinka affected this.
For the past 3 years, 4 years, ero twakwate hii problem. Otherwise, hii problem tatua kwete sana. Pantu amenshi yarefu mapanshi. Kuma dozi tedingi ukuingira. Nomba amenshi yarefu mapanshi.
Ndanda ula manzi yanatingenela. Vintu vonse vili mumwamba. Naponkala nilibe, napogira kwanja nilibe. Nina bana bamene nisunga, ni bana bamasiye bamene nisunga.
Government has since started relocating some of these families in a bid to mitigate the vulnerability situation here. Until the relocation is fully completed, these people are at the risk of contracting diseases from this contaminated water or even losing lives, especially for the children who can possibly drown. Venon Mwema, Millennium TV News in Lusaka.
And that is the situation in our communities that what you just saw is what is going on, is what people are being subjected to live with, you know, waters in their homes, garbage in water around their surroundings. You know, I was reading a story of how in Koko compound, people cannot even go to the bathrooms anymore. They have got no choice now but to defecate, to go to answer the call of nature in plastic bags. And the sad part is they then take the very same the fecal matter back into the very water, which is coming into their homes. It is absolutely sad, absolutely. It's not even, it's inhumane to live in such a manner. So now the question that we're asking is, what do you think can be done to have a permanent solution to the flooding? We can talk about the causes, we can talk about the fact that houses were built in wrong places, or this and this was not done, you know, or we don't have this and this, but let's find a solution instead of talking about the past. You know, let's get to a point where drainages, where our drainage systems, and even for us ourselves in the community, please keep the drainage systems clean. A lot of times you find that even when you have drainage systems, you have follow aini if like that is where you're throwing your dirt, and then now that dirt is what becomes it's the one that's stopping water from flowing, and now the drainage system gets full and it starts going into our houses, it starts flooding. This is why it is important to keep our communities clean. This is why it is important to not throw garbage anywhere, especially garbage that takes forever to decompose. Plastics, plastic bottles, plastic bags, you know, let's make sure that those are thrown in the correct places. These things that do not decompose that easily. It's different if you say, if Papa Fiambalala, but then even then, you know, let us just keep our communities clean so that we never have these plastic bags, these plastic containers, this dirt, you know, blocking our drainage systems or being around in our surroundings, because then you have a situation like that where when it floods and then they just come out everywhere as well, and they're in your surroundings. These things are going to cause waterborne diseases. What is going to be sad is if we have another surge of cholera. We're already dealing with COVID-19. We cannot start dealing with cholera again, and this is what this looks like it's going to cause, you know, because children are wading through that very dirty water, which is absolutely worrying. Now, I do have a message from Sichimbia Moses. He says we need to work on our drainage systems. I absolutely agree. We need to work on better drainage systems. I've always asked myself, isn't it possible to have a drainage system that, I don't know, finds a way into some tank where water can be taken to the dams that are now forming our electricity, you know, because so many are the times that we hear, no, the dams are not full yet, but we've got water, we've got places that are flooding. Another way that we can sort out this problem is have those water tanks that come in, pump the water and go and, you know, dispose of it in the dams, in the different dams around. You know, we can build deltas, we can build weirs. There are so many things that we can do. We need to take this, we need to have prevention measures even before we have this this situation. I have another message coming through and saying, oh, that says we need to widen our dams and reserves so that heavy flows can be accommodated and stored. These are just some of the solutions. Keep those messages coming. We need to find a permanent solution to this flooding situation. We take a quick break. We'll be back just now.
My name's Shula Mulenga, a youth entrepreneur based in Northwestern Province, Solwezi to be specific. I studied the agricultural sciences at the NRDC and currently pursuing a bachelor's degree in business administration with the University of Zambia. I started the business in agricultural input supply in 2015, of which I only started with one branch in Solwezi. And after receiving the empowerment funds from Ministry of Youth and Sports, I was able to expand to districts like Mfumbwe and Kasempa. And because of a lot of work that came on board, I was able to employ 10 more youths, of which 4 of them I got them from the youth resource centers, 2 from Mfumbwe and the other 2 from Eastern Province. So with the empowerment funds which I received from the Ministry of Youth and Sports, I'm so much humbled, and I really appreciate the support that the government gave to me, because I've always wanted to venture into agribusiness, and I'm actually living my dream by doing something that I really like. So we just have plans to expand and to go to other districts so that we can save farmers in a better way, and at the same time we can empower more youths also, and help some of the youths in the communities to get jobs, and to also just find a good livelihood out of it. So I really appreciate the government for the initiative to help out the youths.
Millennium TV. Millennium TV. We mean business.
It is packaged to perfection, trending topics that we will be discussing to make sure you know exactly what's happening in the world of social media and, of course, our very own country.
Exactly. We don't just limit ourselves to the country, but we also move across the borders with the best in international news, policy making. We also bring experts to bring to you right information right here on The Breakfast Show.
And if you've got questions, we got you covered too. Like we said, we're on Facebook, so comment, leave your questions. We will be able to answer them. And if we can't, trust me, we're going to get somebody that can.
Yeah, join us every day, Monday to Saturday.
It's Constance and Paul.
Oh, Paul and Constance.
No, definitely Constance and Paul.
Paul and Constance.
Definitely Constance.
Paul and Constance. 7 to 9.
It is.
Who are we? What are we about? Say you want to learn about business or get latest news updates in business news, social and economic issues, stock exchange, latest exchange rates, and all financial matters, or you want to learn on how to manage your money from savings, banking, insurance, to maybe our new traditional way of doing things like village banking. And if you're like me, planning and constantly making sound financial decisions is essential. So I need to keep abreast with upcoming investments, taxes, technology, or entrepreneurship prospects. Interesting, right? So what if I told you by just one click you can learn from mining, agriculture, tourism, manufacturing services, and yes, entertainment industries. After all, the more you know about money, the better financially you will be. So who are we? What are we about? Millennium TV, your first business and financial news television channel. Catch us on Top Star, Channel 95, or follow us on Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube. Millennium TV, we mean business. Millennium Millennium TV. Millennium TV. Women Business.
Yeah, you gotta hustle. You can't be at the same location and with the same behavior. You got when you want to change the behavior, you at least change the location.
One, you need to be determined. You need to be disciplined and focused.
The business is something that you are able, at the end of the day, giving you something, profit. What do I do? Saturday we have a game. I don't have eggs, right? At home. We go there, we win. They'll give me maybe a 50 or 100 kwacha. Then I'll benefit out of that.
Only on Millennium TV. Women Business.
Mafingerings tikaleta kuti kule fike pa 500 gram or 450 gram even pa 400 flat gram nishia kule mngapeleke pa market.
When we are at school, we learn a lot of things. Let's say, for example, for the diseases which are there in the poultry. So for someone like me who has gone to school, it's easy for me to know if at all there are any diseases in the poultry.
You are still watching Millennium Kwacha, your first and your favorite business breakfast show. For those that are just tuning in, welcome. I'm your host, Constance, Namwinga. Now, earlier on as we were talking, I did promise you that we have a special guest coming in, and we're going to be talking about taking your space as a woman in our society. What does it take to do all of that? And we invited Yoko Chimanja to come and help us understand all of that, because we know that this is a woman that has taken up her space. Everywhere that she has gone, she has shined. It has been, it's really, welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Welcome to the program. It has been amazing watching you different spheres of what you do, and like I said, you have literally taken up your space. So first and foremost, congratulations on that one.
Thank you. Thank you. I mean, that intro made me want to meet me. I need to meet this Yoko. But yeah, thank you.
Awesome. So there's a lot of things that you do. Yes. Actress, media personality, radio, TV, but then you've also gone, you're running a magazine as well, and then there's also Bold.
Yes.
I want to first find out about Bold. Tell us all about that.
Okay, so Bold is an initiative we started in 2014 with the primary goal being to present a platform on which women could be positively represented. We wanted women to be able to see themselves, to identify with success, to make it a norm.
Yes.
So we realized that back then there was very little information on local women who were doing really well. Normally we would have to refer to people who were international, but even when we made headlines, it was because we were a victim or we'd been victimized. And I said, I want to change that. I want to grow up in a society, or I want my kids to grow up in a society where they can see strong, effective women doing the most. So yeah.
Nice, nice. Okay, so a lot of people when they see you, I'm pretty sure I think it still happens, right? Where people still say, Namwinga.
Very much so. If not that, they'll even call me Namakao. And I'm always like, where do they get the Namakao, though? But yes, I still get that quite a bit.
Yeah, a lot of people know you from, because even when I was telling my sister yesterday and I was saying, I'm going to be interviewing Yoko, and then she's like, who's that? So then I'm like, she was in Kabanana, and then she's like, there are a lot of people in Kabanana. And I'm like, Namwinga. And she's like, why didn't you just say that? And I'm like, because that's not her name, though.
Because now I don't have an identity. I'm just Namwinga.
I know, right? But then you have gone on to be in a lot of other productions. You were in Love Games.
Yes, I was.
And now you're even in Makofi.
Yes,
and you've
I
done. How did you? Because either way, wherever we see you, and I think you're an amazing actress. Wherever you are, you take up the character that you're given, you know, and really personalize it. At least that's how it looks for people, because you're very convincing. You know, one minute you're Namwinga, and then the other minute you're this person, and the other minute you're a mother, and you know, and you take up all of it. How do you do that though? Like, how do you manage? You know, no matter where you are, you shine.
It's just constantly wanting to do the best that I can do. Whatever task I am given, I think to myself, what is the best way I can accomplish this? What is the best way? What can I bring to this task that is not like anybody else, or that will help me shine as well? So it's really a deliberate effort to just try and be the best that I can be. When it comes to my roles, I will study my role. I will identify people who are like my role and watch them and try and pick up traits. So I'll give an example with the current role in Makofi. I watched the house help, how she moved, how she talked. I spoke with a lot of people who have a similar accent. That was one of the hardest things, because they're like, you can't talk like you. And I'm like, okay, let's do this. So it's just really about getting enough information and applying it the best way you can.
Now, we're living in a community where most of the time we for some reason, because I don't think it's actually said out loud that we should fit in, but for some reason we want so bad to fit in and be part of whatever the trends are and whatever. I kind of feel like that's not you though. Like, you've never been one to want to fit in, or you've just sort of decided, I'm different and I want to be different. Is that the case?
I think it is to a certain extent. I mean, human beings are social creatures and we're made for companionship. But I think growing up in a household where there were a lot of kids, I just always wanted to stand out. So if everybody was drinking, I wasn't drinking. If everyone was having sex, I was the virgin. It was just one of those things, like, where I just wanted to constantly be different. But as I got older, I got more comfortable with who I am. And that's really just what it is. Am I comfortable in it? Am I going to be okay with it the day after tomorrow, 5 years from now? You know, will I still look back at this moment and feel like I was true to myself? And that's what it is, because it's exhausting trying to be other people.
Yes, yes, it is. It is. And I don't understand why we want. I'm actually one of those that wanted so bad to fit in, but it's
no, it is. And then the problem is, at that point, you're not cultivating real relationships. So you need to be yourself, so that the people who are around you, who are supporting you, who love you, who build you, know who you really are, and won't feel like you've switched up on them one day. You know, you need genuine people around you. Life is hard.
Yes.
You need some real friends. So, yeah.
I hear you. Okay, now I want to talk about the magazine.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that, like what's going on around it, what inspired you to even take that route?
So like I said earlier on, it was a matter of not seeing positive representation when it came to the media where women were concerned. And I felt like there was a need for in-depth reporting, as well as like a wider spectrum of conversations that weren't being had at the time. I'm so happy that they're being had now. There are like so many platforms on which these discussions are now being had. So 2014, we looked around. A few of the local papers had segments every weekend that were targeted specifically at women, but even then they were more he said, she said, and they were research based. And that's how I said, you know what, I want to tell this story. I want an opportunity to represent women in their full glory. That's really what it was. It was about me being really passionate about women and their growth and wanting to reflect that in the publication. So we came up with Bold, which is now an electronic publication that we distribute electronically, obviously, via link at no cost to women, because we really want them to have that information.
Nice. What are the challenges you face? How easy has it been? How hard has it been to even get those stories and, you know, get to a point where people recognize and will easily, you know, see and know Bold? Yeah.
So in terms of getting the stories, it was hard. Like I said, the reporting culture has very much been he said, she said, you know. So for people who would come and say, give me an article and it just talks about somebody's opinion, I'm like, what are the facts? What did we counter this? Did we check with the other person? And I'm grateful for my background in journalism, because it allowed me to try and take a less biased and a more objective approach to my reporting. And so that was hard, but eventually I found brilliant writers who are always open to, you know, you can send the article back and they won't take it personally. Yes. They will just do what is needed. Finding the people, of course, I'm blessed to have a network that's full of amazing people who introduce me to other amazing people. Nice. But in recent times, we've tried to reach out and get more people to submit names, write stories, just so that it's not just my voice that's being carried through the publication. And then generally, business-wise, I feel like the Zambian economy and just the landscape itself is not very favorable for an entrepreneur. Yes. There's very few incentives. I'm in between that the bracket where I'm not poor enough to get grants and I'm not rich enough to get loans, you know? So like I'm at that awkward stage where it's kind of hard to get financial support. So we really had to push in terms of everything we do, in terms of funding it through advertisers and things like that. So it takes a toll, obviously, because I'm more of a creative and that's what I would love to focus on. But there's the business of things and making sure that things are running smoothly. So yeah, I think that's
I was
the challenge.
actually going to ask, like, how does it make money, especially electronically, and only now after COVID and whatever, people actually paying more attention to, you know, digital whatever. Before that, though, how was that working?
Well, before that, we actually used to print the publication, but then we stopped when the dollar did everything it did, you know, when it jumped from 6 to 11 to 16, printing became costly. So we said, what is one way that we can subsidize this? So we decided to go electronic, but being electronic also allowed us to distribute further and as well as internationally, because it's as simple as I send you a link on your phone and you have the flip publication on it and you can share it with as many people as you like. There's no limitation to that. But then also the advertisers. So we've been very lucky. We've had people support us from day one. Banks, his name shall not be mentioned, grocery, like we've just had a lot of brands come and work with us, and I'm really grateful for that, because it shows that there are people out there who believe in what we're trying to accomplish. And to have big entities, like these are international brands, these are big corporate brands, come and partner with you, it's really a pat on the back when that happens.
Nice, awesome. Okay, now going into the acting industry. Yes. Crazy industry, because getting a gig is not the easiest thing.
No, it's not.
It's not the easiest thing. And then you also find, even when you go for auditions, there are thousands who want to be part of this. How have you done it?
How have I done it? Well, first of all, you notice that I'm not in everything. I have gone for auditions and not been selected. That's happened. That's happened to me as well. So it's the sort of thing that happens to a lot of people. But for me, I've been very selective about what I choose to work on. I've been fortunate enough on a lot of projects to be called and told, you know, we would like for you to audition for this, or we think you'd be great for this role. So I think that just comes down to like past experiences, work I've done in the past, networking. My network, like I said, is, guys, my network is good. I have a good network. So I have, you know, people who need a favor. It's like, oh my God, we need, like when I got the role in Zua as Miss Chella, it was literally because one of my friends had the potential actress cancel. And then she calls me and she's like, I need a favor. I need you tomorrow, please, like, you know, and I'm just like, yeah, sure. Yeah. And I thought it was a one-off, and then before I knew it, it was something that was recurring. So But I'm also of the headspace that we shouldn't have to wait for these opportunities. I think as people, we need to start making more opportunities for ourselves. And with my network, those are some of the things I've been able to do. I mean, I shot a series of 21 questions with some amazing people, and these were people I just called and I said, look, guys, this is what I'm doing, can you come through? And I had people like Neslong, Chishimba, Lina, like these are people who've been in the industry for a while and who are doing amazing things. Like this was literally their season. And they came through and they supported me, and even the person who helped shoot it, you know, it was one of those, you're having a coffee date and you're like, I want to create content, and they're like, let's do it. And we did it. So even for my birthday, I turned 36 on the 4th of March.
Oh, happy birthday. Happy belated.
Thank you. And I say, look, I don't want gifts. I don't want handbags. I don't want the usual things you guys give me. I just want money to go into my content fund, so that now I can create the kind of content I want to produce.
Nice.
And I think that's what it is. You really need to be deliberate in this industry. There's vultures.
Yes.
There's vultures, and I feel sorry especially for a lot of the young girls, because you find individuals doing things like telling them they need to do certain things in auditions, like real Harvey Weinstein type scenarios even here.
Yes.
And you're just like, why? It also just made me understand how people can get away with such behavior, and then when it comes out, everyone's like, but where was everyone? How did no one know?
Yes.
We're a bit too complacent. We are
very,
a bit too complacent.
Very true.
Yeah.
And you know, when you talk of that, you start waiting for a period where we're going more women that are coming in to want to create content, because if a girl goes to a girl, there's nothing that it's like.
Yeah, no,
it's
but
either take me or
don't
take me.
I know, right? But I just feel like I don't understand why it's become such a norm. And I feel bad because you see what normally happens in this industry is if one person does it, you're forced to look at the others and wonder if they did as well. It really ruins the integrity of every single person in that industry. Because if you hear, oh, so-and-so was bribed, you wonder, so like, did that other person get the role because they were bribed? Or, is it on merit? Oh, and you have directors going around saying, yeah, even your friend so-and-so, that's why she's big, because, and you're just like,
but
and they make, and at times they're even lying about it. But I feel like it's a culture that's slowly getting addressed. I feel like the women in the industry are becoming stronger. I feel like they have more of a say, more of a voice. And not to say that there are no decent men in this industry. They are there, and I think they're starting to speak up more as well, because that's all it takes. It takes silence. If nobody talks about it, if nobody addresses it, these people continue to thrive in these environments.
True.
Yeah.
Okay. When you speak of the situation of women having to do certain things and so on and so forth, I actually even feel like our talent is sort of like what's safer, because at the end of the day they're getting just because she was willing to,
not because she was good
not
for.
because she was good for. Now my question comes down to is that, would you say that is what is do you watch some productions and you're thinking there is no way you got that part because you're good, because you're not.
I mean, I look at certain ones and I'm just like, who did you know? Like, and that's the other thing. It's not necessarily that these women are sleeping with an individual. It might be the sort of thing, like I said, I've got a strong network, so maybe they do too. Sometimes it's not even sex, it's money.
Yes.
Like they were willing to give up a part of their salary to an individual if they got the role. It's like, basically what a casting agent would do, like, I'm gonna get your role, and of that role 10% is mine and things like that. But it's ridiculous. You find, we're sharing your salary for now, for the next 6 months. Things like that. But sometimes it's also just desperation. You can't find the right actor at the right time. Maybe your production budget is low, so you can't pay for the right talent, so you're forced to work with whatever is available. It's guys, it's hectic.
It's
like
crazy, yeah.
You find something you're gonna view for 5 minutes took 5 days to make. So it can be that too.
Now you've kept referring back to your network. You've got a strong network. How did you grow the strong network?
I am deliberate about it. I cultivate beautiful human beings. And when I say beautiful, I'm talking about on the inside. I'm all about positive energy. Yes, I know how hippie that sounds. But I connect. Like, I will identify people who have good energies, good vibes, who are driven, who are passionate, And I just connect and try and, nurture those relationships. Like, I nurture them as much as possible. So I have people like Vina Walia Vlahakis, Walia Chilufia. Okay, I'm not going to start mentioning names because then I'm like, you didn't mention my name. But I know a lot of amazing women and men, but I realize that my network is primarily, like, it's like 80% women, and which for me is testament to the fact that women can come together and do beautiful things.
Yes.
Every single thing I have done, be it acting, be it the bold publication, be it events, there's normally 2 or 3 women pushing me and ensuring that whatever it is I'm trying to accomplish, I am going to accomplish it. They will help in every single way they can. So yeah, I'm very deliberate about my network. I don't go to events anyhow. Like, I do, when I do, I know, like, okay, I'm going and I want to meet so-and-so. It's like I go shopping at events. What kind of person do we need in our network today? Okay, so that is what we're looking for. Will they be at this event? Yes. Let's go connect.
Nice. I'm looking at, a young girl out there that probably not even, because, if you're from Lusaka, you may even know certain people. If you grew up here, you may. But then coming from, I don't know, an eastern province, you know nobody. You come into Lusaka hoping to, make it in whatever industry, the music, acting, and whatever. So now I'm asking from her perspective, how do you get to a point where you start, you know which events to go to, what, for you to grow a network of the people that you need to help you grow in your industry?
The question is, what do you want? When you figure out what you want, it's easier to identify what you need to get there. So once you've answered what you want, it's like, okay, I need somebody who is financially connected. I know we like to frown upon it and say gold diggers and da-da-da-da-da, but the truth of the matter is you need resources to be able to make things move. True. So it's like, okay, so who do I know who can connect me to the kind of resources I need? If not that, it's like, there's just be deliberate about it. Be deliberate about what you're trying to do and who you're trying to meet. And it's sometimes I feel like we are constantly focusing on like big events and everything. I was speaking on the Wow Women's platform recently, and I said, we connect and every day with people and how we treat people and how we're, how we're kind to them and things like that. We're leading every single day by example. And I think that's what it is, because sometimes it's not that you have to go to the MD of. Sometimes it's the PA of the MD that connects you. Sometimes it's your neighbor who works at a certain institution, who can get you through the door, and then you have to do the rest yourself. So it's just about cultivating relationships, really, identifying what you need, and seeing where you can get it from.
Okay, awesome. We are in the dying minutes. Last remarks, though. I do want you to give advice on how a young girl growing up being, and I'm focusing on the women.
Yes.
My apologies to the men.
It's Women's Month.
It's Women's Month, so I'm focusing on the young girls because, a lot of the girls, like you said now, are thinking the only way to make it is maybe I need to do something, I need to dress a certain way, be sexually seductive or whatever. But advice on how a woman can take up space, a young lady can come through, take up space in whatever industry she wants to be in without having to go to those extremes.
Do your best. It's as simple as that. Invest in whatever you are doing. Do your best. If you're acting, read up on it. Know your lines. Be on time. Don't be difficult. Don't engage in the politics of the industry in terms of this one said and that one said. Mind your own business, focus hard. If it's corporate, do your work, be on time, meet your targets, identify people who can mentor you. Because I think at the end of the day, we've become a very entitled generation. We've got this thing of things will fall on our laps or we are owed something. The truth of the matter is nobody owes us anything. We are responsible for ourselves, and as long as we're doing the best that we can and putting in all that we can, eventually it pays out. Yeah, so be patient. Don't expect to be an overnight success. Very few people are, and those who are lucky, so, but if you're pushing every single day, you're consistent, you're hardworking, eventually you get there.
Nice. Well, thank you so much for coming through and sharing you with us today.
Thank you for having me. It was really a pleasure.
Awesome. Awesome. You are still watching. Well, now we're at the end of Millennium Kwacha, sadly, I have to say. But I could go on forever, but my producer would murder me, so I cannot and will not do that. Do join us again, though, tomorrow, same time, same place. My name is Constance Namwinga. Bye-bye for now.
Millennium TV. Millennium TV. Women Business.